Hi guys, we're going to talk about body image today and what a negative body perception um, leads to eating disorders, which leads to serious health concerns and even death. So what is body image? Body image is the perception that a person has of their physical self, but more importantly, the thoughts and feelings the person experiences as a result of that perception. It's important to understand that these feelings can be positive, negative, or a combination of both, and are influenced by individuals and environmental factors. Nobody is perfect. Bodies come in all different shapes and sizes. Your appearance does not define who you are. What defines who you are your values, your beliefs, what is inside you, what kind of person you are, how you treat others. That's what defines you. Throughout life, your body is going to change. As you get older, you'll go through different steps and your body will change. It's inevitable. Just accept it. I'm 50. I'm accepting it. You are who you are, and you are who you were created to be in God's image. You are one of God's children. And it's important to remember that your appearance does not define you. Now, some people, a lot of people actually use dieting to try to alter their appearance, to lose weight, to become thinner. A lot of time what happens is a yo-yo diet where you lose the weight, you gain the weight, you lose the weight, you gain the weight. This can result in heart disease, kidney problems, and it will affect your metabolism, which is the mechanism that burns calories, and it helps regulate your entire body. Now, there are four aspects of body image: a perception and attitude about your body, how you see it. Perceptual, the way that you see yourself. The way you see your body is not always a correct representation of what you actually look like. I'll repeat that. The way you see your body is not always a correct representation of what you actually look like. For example, a person may perceive themselves to be fat when in reality they are possibly underweight. How a person sees themselves is the perceptual body image. Affective, the way you feel about the way you look. There are things a person may like or dislike about the way they look. Your feelings about your body, especially the amount of satisfaction or dissatisfaction you experience in relation to your appearance, weight, shape, and body parts, is your affective body image, the way you feel about the way you look. Cognitive, the thoughts and beliefs that you feel about your body. Some people believe that they will feel better about themselves if they are thinner. Others believe they will look better if they develop more lean muscle. The way you think about your body is cognitive body image. Behavioral, the things you do in relation to the way you look. When a person is dissatisfied with the way they look, they may employ destructive behaviors such as excessive exercising or changing their eating habits as a means to change their appearance. Some people may isolate themselves because they feel bad about the way they look. Behaviors in which you engage as a result of your body image encompasses your behavioral body image. Now, why is body image so important? Well, people with positive body image will generally have a higher level of physical and psychological health and have better personal development. A positive body image will affect your self-esteem levels. Self-esteem dictates how a person feels about themselves, and this can infiltrate every aspect of your life. The higher your self-esteem, the easier you will find it to stay on top of daily life and activities. The more sociable that you'll be, leading to higher levels of happiness and well-being. Self-acceptance, The more positive a person's body image, the more likely that person is to feel comfortable and happy with the way they look. A person with positive body image is less likely to feel impacted by unrealistic images that are found in the media and societal pressures to look a certain way. A healthy outlook and behaviors. When you are in tune with and respond to the needs of your body, your physical and psychological well being improves. A positive body image will lead to a balanced lifestyle with healthier attitudes and practices with food and exercise. So, what causes body dissatisfaction? What makes us not like what we think we see? When a person has negative thoughts and feelings about his or her own body, body body dissatisfaction can develop. Environmental influences play a large role in how we perceive and feel about our body. Those negative thoughts and feelings can develop when we think we see something that we're not, and we're trying to live up to societal's expectations. A person's family, friends, teammates, teachers, and the media all have an impact on how that person sees and feels about themselves and their appearance. In particular, when an individual is in an appearance-oriented environment where your looks, what you're wearing, how you look means a lot, or receives negative feedback about their appearance or they're being teased, they are at risk for body dissatisfaction. So if there's pressure to be thin, pressure to be lean and muscular and beautiful, that can lead to body dissatisfaction by not reaching up to the expectations of your surroundings. People of all ages are bombarded with images through media, such as TV, magazines, movies, internet, advertising, social media. These images are often unrealistic, unobtainable, and highly stylized, promoting beauty and appearance ideals for males and females in our society. They send strong messages which reaffirm that in our culture, thin is beautiful for females and lean muscular is the ideal body shape for males. And that when these body shapes are achieved, that happiness, success, and love will result. The ideal demonstrated in these images has been fabricated, has been photoshopped, manipulated, and cannot be created or achieved in real life. If a person feels that they do not measure up in comparison to these images, feelings of body dissatisfaction can intensify and have a damaging impact on that person's psychological and physical well-being. Some people are more likely to develop a negative body image than that of others. This can be as the result of the following factors or variables. Your age. Body image problems can affect people from childhood through their lifespan and are as prevalent in midlife as young adult for women. However, beliefs about body image are frequently shaped during late childhood and adolescence, so this is a particularly crucial time in raising children. Gender. Adolescent girls are more prone to body image dissatisfaction than that of adolescent boys. However, the rate of body dissatisfaction in males is rapidly approaching to that of females. People who experience low self-esteem and have depression are more likely to have a negative body image. Personality traits. People with perfectionist tendencies, people who feel a need for everything in their lives to be perfect, high achievers, and people who cognitively are more black and white in their thinking. Those who internalize and value beauty ideals, and people who tend to compare themselves to others are at a higher risk of developing body dissatisfaction. Being bullied or teased for your appearance. People who are teased for their appearance, especially weight, regardless of the actual appearance or the weight that person has, are at a greater risk of developing body dissatisfaction than those who are not. Having friends and family who diet for weight loss and they express high body image concerns will influence other family members to take on those same ideals, and that's when body dissatisfaction can occur. Larger body size is another variable. In our weight-conscious society, larger body sizes increase the risk of body dissatisfaction. Well, what qualifies as an eating disorder? Eating disorders are a range of psychological conditions that cause unhealthy eating habits to develop. They might start with an obsession with food, body weight, or body shape. In severe cases, eating disorders can cause serious health consequences and may even result in death if left untreated. Anorexia nervosa is an eating disorder characterized by an abnormally low body weight, an intense fear of gaining weight, and a distorted perception of their weight. People with anorexia place a high value on controlling their weight and shape, using extreme efforts that tend to significantly interfere with their lives. To prevent weight gain or to continue losing weight, people with anorexia usually severely restrict the amount of food that they eat. No matter how much weight is lost, the person continues to fear weight gain. Anorexia is not really about food, and it is extremely unhealthy and sometimes life-threatening way to cope with emotional problems. When you have anorexia, you often equate thinness with self-worth. Some symptoms of anorexia. The physical signs and symptoms of anorexia nervosa are related to starvation. Anorexia also includes emotional and behavioral issues involving an unrealistic perception of body weight and an extremely strong fear of gaining weight or becoming fat. It may be difficult to notice signs and symptoms because what is considered a low body weight is different for each person, and some individuals may not appear extremely thin. Also, people with anorexia often disguise their thinness, eating habits, and physical problems. They'll wear baggy clothing, coats to mask the weight loss. Bulimia. Bulimia is a psychological eating disorder in which you have episodes of binge eating or consuming a large quantity of food in one sitting. During these binges, you have no sense of control over your eating. And when you're done, you try inappropriate ways to lose weight, such as vomiting, fasting, using enemas, excessive use of laxatives and diuretics, or compulsive exercising. Bulimia tends to start in late childhood or early adulthood. You usually binge and purge in secret. You feel disgusted and ashamed when you binge, and relieved once you have purged. People with bulimia usually weigh within the normal range for their age and height, but they may fear gaining weight, want to lose weight, and feel very dissatisfied with their bodies. We don't know the exact cause of bulimia, but research suggests that a mixture of certain personality traits, emotions, and thinking patterns, as well as biological and environmental factors, might be responsible. Researchers believe that this eating disorder may begin with dissatisfaction with body and extreme concern with the size and shape of your body. Usually you have a low self-esteem and fear becoming overweight. The fact that bulimia tends to run in families also suggests that you might inherit a risk for the disorder. Binge eating. Binge eating disorder is a severe, life-threatening, and treatable eating disorder that is characterized by recurrent episodes of eating large quantities of food, often very quickly and to the point of discomfort. A feeling of loss of control during the binge, experiencing shame, distress, or guilt afterwards, and not regularly using unhealthy compensatory measures, purging, to counter the binge eating. It is the most common eating disorder in the United States. So unlike bulimia, binge eating, they eat, but they don't use the purging methods to get rid of what you just ate. An episode of binge eating is characterized by both of the following: eating in a discrete period of time, an amount of food that is definitely larger than what most people would eat in a similar period of time under similar circumstances. They'll do this in secret. They're afraid to eat out in public. A sense of lack of control, overeating during this episode, a feeling that one cannot stop eating or control or how much one is eating. The binge eating episodes are associated with 3 or more of the following: eating much more rapidly than normal, eating until feeling uncomfortably full, eating large amounts of food when not feeling physically hungry, eating alone because of feeling embarrassed by how much one is eating, feeling disgusted with oneself, depressed, or very guilty afterward. Anorexia athletica. This is a type of disordered eating that impacts athletes. People with anorexia athletica take in a limited number of calories despite a high level of physical activity and exercise. This behavior leads to a very lean body type and low weight. According to a publication by the National Eating Disorder, people with anorexia athletica have lost at least 5% of their body weight, of their healthy body weight, due to calorie restriction and excessive exercise. Someone with anorexia athletica may not believe that their behaviors are unhealthy. In fact, they may view themselves as normal in the context of the sport or activity in which they're participating. Those with anorexia athletica typically meet some but not all of the criteria for the other eating disorders. Because of this, anorexia athletica is often classified as an eating disorder not otherwise specified. Athletes with anorexia athletica may be more prone to muscle and bone injuries. Additionally, they can also experience other complications such as nutritional deficiencies and the absence of menstrual periods. Female athlete triad syndrome is defined as the combination of disordered eating, amenorrhea, and osteoporosis. This disorder goes often unrecognized. The consequences of lost bone mineral density can be devastating for the female athlete. Premature fractures can occur, and the lost bone mineral density may never be regained. Early recognition of the female athlete triad can be accomplished by the family physician through risk factor assessment and screening questions. Instituting an appropriate diet and moderating the frequency of exercise may result in the natural return of menses. Hormone replacement therapy should be considered early to prevent the loss of bone density. A collaborative effort among coaches, athletic trainers, parents, athletes, and physicians is optimal for the recognition and prevention of the triad. Increased education of parents, coaches, and athletes in the health risks of the female athlete triad can prevent a potentially life-threatening illness. Body dysmorphic disorder. Body dysmorphic disorder is a mental health disorder in which you cannot stop thinking about one or more perceived defects or flaws in your appearance, a flaw that appears minor or cannot be seen by others. But you may feel so embarrassed, ashamed, and anxious that you may avoid numerous social situations. It's something that you see as a flaw, but something that somebody, a friend or family member, doesn't even recognize. But to you, it's a major issue. When you have body dysmorphic disorder, you intensely focus on your appearance and body image, repeatedly checking the mirror, grooming, or seeking reassurance, sometimes for many hours each day. Your perceived flaw and the repetitive behaviors cause you significant distress and impact your ability to function in your daily life. You may seek out numerous cosmetic procedures to try and fix your perceived flaw. Afterward, you may feel temporary satisfaction or a reduction in your distress, but often the anxiety returns, and you may resume searching for other ways to fix your perceived flaw. Muscle dysmorphia, or MD, is a form of body dysmorphic disorder. MD is defined as being preoccupied by worries that one's body is too small or not muscular enough, despite having a normal build or in many cases, an objectively extremely buff physique. In other words, how people feel with MD, think about, or perceive the size of their body and muscles is distorted, sometimes to the point of seeming delusional. Engaging in repeated behaviors or mental reviewing in response to their perceived physical flaws or defects. Examples include constantly checking the appearance of their muscles in the mirror or other reflective surfaces, or engaging in mental rituals comparing how muscular they are to that of their friends. MD mainly affects males, with symptoms usually beginning in the late teens or early adulthood. There is no specific cause known for MD, although factors such as biology, being teased or bullied while growing up, and problematic ways of thinking about wanting to be highly muscular are possible factors. In addition, cultural and media influences that create unrealistic models of bodily perfection as both attainable and necessary, which they're not, may play a role as well. And finally, low self-esteem and feelings of social isolation and loneliness go hand in hand with MD. Okay, so the exact cause of eating disorders is unknown. As with other mental illnesses, there may be many causes, such as genetics and biology. Certain people may have genes that increase their risk of developing eating disorders. Biological factors, such as changes in brain chemicals, may play a role in eating disorders. Psychological and emotional health. People with eating disorders may have psychological and emotional problems that contribute to the disorder. They may have low self-esteem, perfectionism, impulsive behavior, and troubled relationships. Teenage girls and young women are more likely than teenage boys and young men to have anorexia or bulimia, but males can have eating disorders as well. Although eating disorders can occur across a broad age range, they often develop in the teens and early 20s. Certain factors may increase the risk of developing an eating disorder, including family history. Eating disorders are significantly more likely to occur in people who have parents or siblings that have had an eating disorder. Other mental health disorders. People with an eating disorder often have a history of an anxiety disorder, depression, or obsessive compulsive disorder. Dieting and starvation. Dieting is always a risk factor for developing an eating disorder. Starvation affects the brain and influences mood changes, rigidity in thinking, anxiety, and reduction in appetite. There is strong evidence that many of the symptoms of an eating disorder are actually symptoms of starvation. Starvation and weight loss may change the way the brain works in vulnerable individuals, which may perpetuate restrictive eating behaviors and make it difficult to return to normal eating habits. Stress, whether it is heading off to college, moving, landing a new job, or a family or relationship issue, change can bring stress, which may increase your risk of an eating disorder. So how does one begin recovery from an eating disorder? The inner voices of anorexia and bulimia whisper that you will never be happy until you lose weight, that your worth is measured by how you look. But the truth is that happiness and self-esteem come from loving yourself for who you truly are, and that is only possible with recovery. The road to recovery from an eating disorder starts with admitting that you have a problem. This admission can be tough, especially if you're still clinging to the belief, even in the back of your mind, that weight loss is the key to your happiness, confidence, and success. Even when your family understands this is not true, old habits are still hard to break. The good news is that behaviors you have learned can also be unlearned. Just as anyone can develop an eating disorder, so too anyone can get better. However, overcoming an eating disorder is about more than giving up unhealthy eating behaviors. It's also about learning new ways to cope with emotional pain and rediscovering who you are beyond your eating habits, your weight, and your body image. True recovery from an eating disorder involves learning to listen to your feelings, listen to your body, accept yourself, love yourself. Now, this may seem like a lot to tackle, but just remember that you are not alone. Help is out there and recovery is within your reach. The right support and guidance, you can break free. With the right support and guidance, you can break free from your eating disorder's destructive pattern, regain your health, and find the joy in life again. Now, while there are a variety of different treatment options available for those struggling with eating disorders, it's important to find the treatment or combination of treatments that works best for the individual. Effective treatment should address more than just the symptoms and destructive eating habits. It should also address the root causes of the problem, the emotional triggers that lead to disordered eating, and your difficulty in coping with stress, anxiety, fear, sadness, or other uncomfortable emotions. So, how can you improve your body image? People with negative body image can be fixated on trying to change their actual body shape. This can lead to people engaging in unhealthy practices with food and exercise with the hope that the change in their body shape will alleviate any negative feelings. These practices do not usually achieve the desired outcome physically or emotionally, and can result in more intense negative feelings of disappointment, shame, and guilt, as well as place a person at greater risk of developing an eating disorder. It's important to remember that you cannot change some aspects of your appearance. Your height, muscle composition, and bone structure are determined by your genes. This is the way that you were born. A person can change some things, but it is important to understand and believe that there is no right or wrong when it comes to body shape or appearance. This can be hard to accept if a person has negative body image. Challenging beauty ideals and learning to accept your body shape is a crucial step towards feeling positively about your weight, your shape, your size, and your appearance. While changing your actual appearance may be difficult and complicated, changing your body image is an achievable goal. We have the power to change the way we see, feel, and think about our bodies. Some tips to get started: focus on your positive qualities, skills, talents. This can help you learn to accept and appreciate your whole self. A person is much more than just a physical being. Say positive things to yourself every day. When you say something often enough, you start to believe it. Avoid self talk that is berating or negative. Focus on what your body can do and has done. The body is amazing. Appreciating and respecting all the things it can do will help you feel more positive about yourself. Set positive, health related focused goals rather than weight loss related ones. Engaging in practices with food and exercise that promote health over weight loss management is more positive for your overall being. So exercise and eat for your health, not to change your looks. Remember that many people who are normal or underweight are unfit, and many physically fit people, like football players, are higher than normal in average body weight. We're all created different. Avoid making body comparisons to others. Everyone is unique, and differences are what makes a person special. Admiring the beauty in others can be positive for your own body confidence, but it is important that you appreciate the beauty and accept yourself as a whole in order to feel more comfortable in your skin. Make a conscious decision about what you read and look at. Remember that the majority of images presented in the media are unrealistic and represent a minority of the population. Many of the images in magazines have been digitally altered and do not represent what real people look like. Now at FPU, we've got a great resource. If you or somebody that you know, a classmate, is struggling, we have on-site counselors that take appointments and will help you through any problems, relationship problems, adjustment issues, grief, sadness, anxiety. They're there to listen. Phone numbers up there: 453-8050. or you can email onsite@fresno.edu. I highly recommend this. These are great people. They can help you. They can get you the help that you need to function daily and regain a sense of normalcy.